What's going on, everyone? Seth Miranda here. If you don't know me, I'm a pro photographer here in New York, and I used to do these live demos that you're about to watch on Adorama's Instagram. I did a demo every week, and it was pretty awesome, but that was like a lifetime ago. In fact, this video is from early 2018, so 4 or 5 years ago at the time of recording this intro, and it is a vertical video. It's an Instagram Live, so if you don't like that, you're free to click off, although that does wreck my channel, but whatever. These videos don't do well anyway. I kind of do these because I want the record to be out there. I want these things to still go on. And I do get requests from people asking about these things that they saw them back then if I still have them. So here they are, right? It's a pretty good one. It's black and white. I don't get to do black and white often, even though I love black and white, but in commercial world, which is where I primarily shoot, don't really get to do black and white too much. And it's pretty good because I'm breaking down the subtleties and the things you want to look for in black and white. And even though this video is pretty old, in my opinion, it's actually still completely relevant because the idea and philosophy and aesthetic of black and white is classic and will never change, right? The idea of why we do it, the purpose for it, the way we go about it, what works, what doesn't, the philosophy of why we even do shoot in black and white as opposed to color sometimes. It's all there, and I think it's pretty good. Plus, I go into using gels with black and white, which I didn't know that people didn't know was a thing, but yeah, it totally is a thing if you want to get into that. This just like scratches barely even the surface of what you can do with gels in black and white. So if you guys want me to go deeper into that, please write a comment down below. Maybe I'll do a demo on gels in black and white. But this seriously is like not even like an appetizer to what could be about gels with black and white. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this. I actually really like finding these and putting them back out here for you guys, and a new audience gets a chance to check them out that might not have seen them years ago. And again, I know it's vertical video, but just give it a shot. And if you like it, maybe check out the other ones. There's ones that aren't vertical format, but there are a lot of live demos on here. You're seeing me shoot in real time. No editing, no smoke or mirrors. You're watching me do it. So I hope you guys appreciate that. It's not, this isn't just a YouTube channel where it's like gear reviews and trying to sell you something. I have nothing to sell you. I just want to shoot some cool things and help you guys elevate your game. And hopefully these videos do that. So having said that, please give this video a like, really helps out. Hit subscribe and the bell so you get notified when we put out more videos. Please share the videos around. It really helps out this channel when you guys share the videos around, and I will see you down in those comments. Enjoy it. I said, are we going to do black and white portraits really clean, or are we going to do what colored gels do to affect the light for black and white portraits? 49 to 51, you guys chose clean portraits. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make everybody happy. We're going to do clean portraits, 2, maybe 3 setups on that, and then I'm going to show you what gels do. Fair? Okay, cool, because I'm not talking to anybody. I'm talking to a phone. We're in the Adorama event space here in New York, and I brought back Autumn.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And Autumn's boots. Autumn still got them boots. All right, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Ginger pride right here. So black and white, people think all you do is flip it, take the color out, and that's it, but it's not really the case. Black and white has way more precision to it than you'd really believe. It actually helps if you have some knowledge with film in this case. So what's the point of black and white? Why would we do black and white over color? Well, black and white takes out the distraction of color altogether. So right now we're in a surreal type of mindset. It's about shape, it's about texture, it's about shade, it's about silhouettes. So when you take away the aspect of color, which is like a distraction, we start diving deeper into the bone structure of someone's face, maybe the texture of the skin, freckles, ginger pride. I love freckles in black and white. I'm a sucker for that. You know, I like freckles underneath tattoos. That always looks really nice. So we're gonna get into what type of black and white you should be looking at when you're doing portraiture. Yes, this is kind of opinions, right? Like you could want a very flat look, which means a lot of gray, or you could want deep blacks, popping whites. Me, I like a crispy contrast, but I also like information in my blacks and information in my whites. However, we're gonna kind of break that a little bit because I'm gonna show you guys how to get a quick, fully black background and a fully white background without even touching your lights. So let's run through the setup really quick. Really, really clean. I'm going with I'll pull this guy out, all Profoto A1s today. Do you need an A1? No. They're awesome? Yes. However, this is just basically a Speedlight setup. So pretty much what I did was I picked my favorite box of all time, which is the 1 foot by 1.3 foot RF5. It's really small. Let's take a walk this way. You can see that it's basically the size of someone's head. So what does that allow me to do? It allows me to separate my light from where I want it and where I don't want it. So I just want to light up Autumn. I just want to sculpt her out. So instead of having a giant light source that might also light my background, I don't have to worry about that. I can light in zones. So if I'm just using this light, it's not touching my backdrop wherever I'm at, then I'm getting a black background. If I want to change that, I got this guy right here, which is my background light, which is my second speed light. Not hard to figure out. You just want to make sure that this light is brighter than that light, and then figure out your ratios. If it's too much, if you're getting blowback, fog, any type of flaring, too much light on this backdrop, okay? We're gonna get into that when we start shooting. And just for kicks, which I doubt I'm even gonna use it, I set this one up because if I go to a black background and I just have one singular small light, she'd go dark very quickly and it might get way too dramatic. Even though we both like that noir type feel, we might want to illuminate her hair a little bit. Even if it's very subtle and we don't really see it, it does make a difference, but we'll see if we even get into that. I don't know. I just threw this stuff together because they made me get live for you guys. Let's do this. All right, let's shoot a portrait because I'm talking too much. I'm going to be using a Nikon D850 with a 105 2.8 micro lens. Why am I using this lens? It's awesome. It's like, that's just the simple fact of it. I really enjoy macro lenses for portrait because one, there's no minimum focusing distance. I can get as tight as I really want. There is a minimum focusing distance to a degree, but unless I'm sitting on her eyelid, I'm not going to run into issues. Two, they tend to be sharper. Three, they have a shallower depth of field, so I don't care about that background. If I'm gonna blow it out white, I kind of want it to be soft anyway, just so that there's no issues with texture. And also it's kind of nice to just watch someone's bone structure fade to a blur, which I'm a fan of. Okay, how are we gonna set this up? This light is just gonna be my trigger. I can use it as a fill light if I want to, but I'm not going to just yet. Let's just get as much of this light as we can get going. So, again, it's a small light source. In fact, since these lights have a modeling light in them, why not, right? I'm gonna shut this off. I'm gonna go into my A group, turn that on, and now I have a modeling light inside my speed light because that's what the A1s are great for. But you can see how much it's just covering autumn and not my background. So even though there's a gray background back there, I'm maybe 2 feet from her, but I'm about 6 feet to 8 feet from the backdrop. That's an enormous ratio. That background's going black. All right. So I'm gonna start shooting at 5.6 and let's get a shot off. We're gonna shut off the D in the background. I set that to group D, and let's get a shot. Nice and moody. Let's take a look. So right here, it's a little hot for my taste, right? We have a lot of detail here. We have our blacks crunching where they want them to crunch, but I'm also completely washing her out here. I mean, there's no skin texture right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Ask questions, guys. Ask questions. Let's take another shot at this. So I also want to talk about this bounce, but so now look, now this is way too under, right? I'm losing a ton of detail right in here. I'm losing my eyelashes. I don't know where her hair texture is. It's gone. And it's so gray and so underexposed that even my highlights are gray. And that's usually what it looks like when you try to burn in a highlight too much in Photoshop, right? So let's split this difference. This light is reading.
They're asking if you're also using the on-camera flash.
I am not using the on-camera flash. The on-camera flash is off. This is just the trigger. I can, and I probably will. I'll show you that in a little bit. Let's just go into manual on this, and I'm gonna lift this light up about 7 to 8 tenths of a stop because I think it's there. I don't want to blow out that highlight. Let's turn your head a little bit this way. Yeah, beautiful. And the cool thing about Autumn is she has so much texture in the color of her eye. And look, now we're where we want to kind of be. We're looking at texture in the hair, right? We're looking at highlights that have skin texture in them. You see that like diamondy that people get? I can see look at these, look, I love your eyes. I love these things. Look at this. Look at this. I could surfboard on this. Look at that. So in case you didn't know, the study of texture and color of people's eyes is called iridology. And apparently you can tell every medical condition you've ever had and will have based on the textures inside your eyeball. I'm not kidding you. Look it up, kids. The more you know. Okay, so this is a very, very soulful looking portrait, right? Like we have this hard cut cheekbone because Autumn has awesome bone structure. I'm not looking at her bones. I'm thinking about your skin texture. Yes.
What's your aperture?
My aperture is still 5.6, ISO 100, 2/50th of a second. Now, I'm getting her throat here because of this bounce. If I wanted more out of it, I could still leave it because I'm using an on-camera flash. Watch this. I can just go into this, turn on this head, and now this becomes a live head. This light is at 6.5 and I have a box on it, so it's eating about a stop of light figure. So figure the power setting is really 5.5. If I take this and make this about a little under 3 as my power, that means I have a good ratio where this isn't going to blow out. I could point this directly into here. And you can see that we're really illuminating over here. I zoomed in on her throat to kind of make you guys see that, and you can tell that the light fired because inside her eye, there it is. And it's bouncing off of this board. Okay? So, we got a black background, right? And that's very moody. We got this noir and it's beautiful and stuff. In fact, I might even just shoot a quick another one just to get it. Let's turn this way. Yeah.
Asking how you're getting your shots to the laptop, what application you use.
Okay, so I'm using Capture One. It is easily industry standard. It's also just awesome. I'm really happy with it. If you're going to be shooting in studios or going to be assisting anyone, learn this program, okay? If you're curious about it, there is a 30-day free trial on it. There's getting your images into a laptop and there's tethering. There's two different things. This has every tool ever. I'm not even in Photoshop anymore. What am I using to tether with? The cable? Oh, Tether Tools cables. I'm using the 3.0 booster active boost, and I'm using the stock cable with the camera and a tether block so that nothing can disturb.
You can show them again with the lights on.
Yeah, we'll do this. So that's the tether block. It runs my cable under the body so that my tension point is here, doesn't mess up my port. And then over here is my booster cable, which gives me 16 feet of space. You can't go too long on a USB cable without needing a booster. It can only travel so far, the voltage, all sorts of stuff, okay? Yes?
Manual or autofocus?
Autofocus. I am on autofocus and I'm hunting for her eyeball. Okay. Yeah? Okay, cool. So that was black background. Now without even touching these lights, I'm gonna turn on that light. So this is how we're gonna do it. I'm gonna go into my D light right here and I'm gonna turn it on. And if you look back there, now that light just got activated. It's in all manual and I'm just cranking it. I'm just letting it go to full power because I want a white background. And if it goes white on full and it's too much, if I start seeing flaring, I can just lower it and lower it. But why fight it? Why start it too low and raise it? Just go for it, all right? She is completely blocking this light. I'm using a 105 lens, which means I'm compressing the space. That means that even if that light makes a circle this big, I'm compressing the space so much that it appears larger because they're just smashing these two zones together. You ready, kiddo? Oh, she's doing the Steve Jobs right there. And we have our white background. I didn't touch anything. We just went from black background to white background with just an extra light. I'm not trying to get that background to be anything but white, so just blaze it. Now, what I'm gonna do now, just to prove a point, I'm gonna open up this f-stop to make that light brighter because it can only go so high. It's on full power 10. To make it brighter, I have to open up. So if I'm at 5.6 and I go to 4.5, that means I have to drop a little bit off of this light to compensate. And I'm looking at it, it's 6.5, so I'm gonna drop it down to a little around 5.7. And then what we should see is almost like a blow around from that light. And you can start seeing that over here. Let me see if you can get this. You see these subtle white highlights that are coming from the back? That's reflection coming off of the paper. So I'm actually saving myself from a rim light a little bit by having that. Wow, you are killing it, girl. Look at this. So I want you to notice, normally I'd be like, oh, it's autumn, we got to shoot her in color. But look at all this luscious texture you get even when you don't have her eye color. And freckles, flots and freckles. Look at these freckles. I love freckles, man. I swear, it's the best ever. Did you get a lot of sun this summer? No?
No? You can't, but I do.
You can't get it?
It's like you do, but you don't.
It's the ginger like trial of death. Yeah, I know. It's like you want to go in the sun, but you can't too much.
Yeah.
So let's go even crazier. Let's open this up a little more. I'm going to drop down my A light a little bit, and I'm just going to really blow out that background even more, just for the sake of it. And now you can really see that we're starting to get, even on this jawline right here, see that subtle white line? That's separating her jawline and her chin from her throat, which really makes her dimensional. So instead of her chin melding into her throat, we have the shadow under the chin, and we have this subtle rim light. Subtle rim. It's the little things in black and white that really make everything come together, because you already took away the distraction of color, right? So it's all about textures. We're talking about shades. We're talking about getting into the shape of things and the silhouette of things, you know? So if you're a lot of portraiture that goes black and white, you get more into the person as a whole, because you're really looking at their eyes. You're really looking through to that person, and that's why it gets so classic. Yeah.
So people, somebody's asking if you could just shoot with the on-camera flash.
I can shoot with just the on-camera flash. Okay, fine. So I've been asked to shoot with just the on-camera flash. It's going to be, it's not about the exposure at this point. It's about point of light source. So I am at camera shooting forward. It's going to hit her like a wall. It's not going to sculpt her out. So we're going to shut this off, right? Because you guys are so needy. We're going to shut off the backlight, and I'm going to just flip this guy into TTL just to get it going. And now that's what it thinks is a proper exposure, and it's not wrong. It's just an on-camera flash about 1 foot away from a girl's face. So that's really what's going to happen here. All right. So I'm going to go back into the setup I was trying to go into. I'm going to put this on group out. You guys totally derailed everything. It's all your fault. All right, I'm just letting you know. It's okay. Where were we at? We were doing white backgrounds. Is that where we're at? Let's just take like a really quick comparison of what black versus white backgrounds really does for you. So keep in mind, the shape of the light didn't change, just the feel of it, the contrast, the snap. Still the same light. You can even see in her catch light, same style of lighting, same throat, same shadows. It's just that white background opens it up a little bit more, right? But that black background keeps you really centralized to her skin tone. So you got to start making these decisions. Or you can do what I always do, which Dave yells at me about, is 13 setups at once and just cycle through them like crazy. Yeah, right, Dave? Yeah. Let's go back to the black background and let's throw that light up there, which has the rogue strip on it, which will be like a hair light. And let's see if we can just separate her from that black a little bit, yeah? Okay, so D is going off, so that light just shut off. A is still going strong, and I am putting B into play, and I'm just gonna do a quick test, and you can see that they're both firing. So let's take a look. Okay. Let's take a look. And now you can see there's a subtle hair light just totally separating her from that black a little bit. If I wanted to, I could reshape this light a little bit so it goes down more of the side of her hair, and then that would separate her more from the backdrop. I'm not too into this on women with long hair in black deep backgrounds. Why? Because it just looks like gray hair. It doesn't really give you the luscious beautifulness of her hair. If that were the case, I would light for just her hair completely. I'd even do a giant light source just to really get an even exposure across all of her. But if I'm micro lighting like this, I'm much happier just getting her to go to black and being very LA noir, even though we're in New York. And I'd rather her just fade to black naturally. I mean, look at that. Man, your cheekbones are killing it. Look at this girl. Let's zoom in on this. Let's do this. Models love when you do that. Look at this gradation tone. See this? So what's really happening here is, look at the highlight on her lip, and I have information there. There's detail in it. And then even when I go into the shadows, see this? Detail there, but it's deep enough, the blacks, to make definition. That's the key. You really want to get that definition going. You don't want to get that flat look. Nobody wants to be just gray, right? Do you want to be gray? Not even Jean Grey? The most redheadest redhead of all?
Well,
Maybe, right? Cool. All right, so you guys voted for the clean portraits. That's pretty much a clean portrait setup. You could do, there's a million other ways to set this up, right? Rim light her, get really hard snaps going on, do a really big soft flat light if you want. But if you have speed lights, they're already small light sources, embrace it. That's the way I look at it. And that's why I like this one a lot, especially since it's like really recessed. It's flagged, it's not spreading everywhere. You can see that I'm not hitting that backdrop. It's not going anywhere. It's barely hitting her shoulders in reality. Let's play a game with gels, because 49% of you voted that you wanted to see gel. You guys have to vote when I put those up. What do gels do when you're shooting black and white? So I'm gonna put on the D light. We're gonna get a white backdrop just so you can really see the contrast tone. So let's get one more shot with the white. Put on D again. D is at almost full power. Cool, so now we have this background and we have this beautiful woman. Cool, let's play a crazy game. Let's put this filter on my light. So why not just put a gel in front of you? Why not just put a filter on your lens? Because I got 2,000 gels to play with and I can't keep swapping through filters on my lens. Why even do this? Because it's going to affect the channels of the light reflecting back. What does that mean? Basically, all your blacks, all your shadows, anything on the dark scale is on your cooler tones. So blues, greens, violets. If you ever look at the breakdown of a digital file and you can put those sliders everywhere, right? If you change blue and you crank it, all the blacks get really deep, right? Well, this is violet, so it's gonna catch more than just the blue channels. If I just throw this inside my box, and that's the other reason I love this box too, because it's like the size of a gel. I just gotta like lay it in there. Nice and even, right? In fact, why don't we put the modeling light on, and you can actually see that it's like purpley, you know? And let's take a quick shot. I'm gonna boost this light up a little more because the gel's gonna eat up about 3/4 of a stop, give or take. So we'll do that. And let's take a look. Look what just happened. Her eyes are dead black. Here's a beautiful woman. Here's my ex-wife. I'm just kidding. This is, but what happened? What happened? It's the same light. It's because that violet is a complete color just blanketing her. So you can do things with this. Let's say you want to freak out the wardrobe a little bit. You can play games with it. You can light just the wardrobe with a color, and in black and white it'll change drastically. Ugh. But she's got freckles. What color are freckles? Kind of like an orange? Well, this is a, let me put the light back on. This is a CTS. This is really, really orange. It's not, it's like not redhead orange, but it's pretty orange. Let's swap this out. And now this is like almost like a warming filter, but because we're not worrying about white balance, it's just gonna shoot as an orange light being translated to grayscale. It's like 400 of the same shot, right? And you can start seeing that her freckles start going away. Look at this. It starts evening out because it's even light of the same color across her face. However, watch this. Look at the contrast there. We actually get shape. Look how murky and gray that gets. So you're deadening out your grayscale because there is no tone of light when you're creating the same color light all over. It's not white light reflecting back. It's a warm light reflecting back. So you guys can play games with this. What should I do? Cyan maybe? Magenta? Yeah, the green's cool. So you can use a billion different gels, but the ones that really make the difference are your CMYK, yellow, cyans, magentas, also your CTBs and CTOs, because they're temperature of light, but any other color in between is just gonna grab little parts of those, so you're not gonna get such a crazy effect. So let's throw this guy in here. So this is actually chroma green. So this is the green that you would light onto a green screen, actually. Oh. You ready? Same shot over and over again, over and over again. Okay. So the green is going to actually cancel out a lot of blood vessel work, believe it or not. So green is counteracting the magentas and reds in her skin. Let's freak this out a little bit. Let's open up the f-stop. Let's blow it up a little bit. And you see the different feel you get out of it. It's like an eerie, ghostly feel. So it's actually smoothing out what's underneath her skin, believe it or not. So all the magentas, red, the blood vessels, the capillaries, they get canceled out because you're shooting with the green light. In fact, watch, I put this up. If I go like this, I go to reset adjustments, watch. Boom, look at all this green. Look at how green she is. If I go here to this crazy violet and I go to adjustments and I go to reset, look at how purple she is. And all your camera's doing is resetting, is taking this reflection of this color channel and trying to make a grayscale out of it. So it makes a big difference. Whether it's beneficial or not, I don't know. I think she looks awesome when we put her into this mode. No contacts needed, just straight crazy weirdness. So a lot of you guys have been asked for black and white, so I really want to do one for you guys. Just don't underestimate how detailed black and white can get. Worry about your tones. White should be white, black should be black, but there should be information in both. Unless you want that style of it looking like a Xerox that's super contrasty, that's up to you. But, you know, understand why you're going that way is all I'm saying. If I were to go really flat with her, I would definitely lose out on all this. Look at this black ring around her eye. Look at this. Look at this lush. Look at the lush. Look at the lush. I mean, you go too flat, you lose it. Understand that skin tones aren't white. They're actually going to be a grayscale. I don't care how pasty you are, gingers. But there's always, your cameras are built on 18% gray as it is, okay? In fact, when you're shooting landscapes, for example, in black and white, I don't care how white that sky looks, there should be a tone to it just to give you some sort of bite. Back in the day in the darkroom, we would actually flash our paper for a split second to give the whole thing a gray tone before we even started printing the image, just because white skies aren't really actually white. Just don't buy a bunch of presets and just sling them around and be like, that looks kind of cool. Start understanding why you like them and then start creating your own. Look at what profile films used to look like. Look at what Tri-X, Plus X. Look at what Acros used to look like. Look at all these films, Ilford, HP5. There's so many beautiful black and white films out there. Look at them, see what their characteristics are, because when you're doing these presets, film was a preset, but there was people that really graded these films for. I mean, it was amazing. It really was. So, you know, don't just do an Instagram filter and call it black and white. That's all I'm saying. And make the right decision if it should be black and white. Okay, is color a distraction? Is there something we should be looking at? You know, are textures there? Are shapes there? Is shadow happening there? What would keep me engaged in the image? Things like that. Forever, I've said I'm not using presets. This black and white profiler I'm using right now is called Cadence Black and White because we shot a girl named Cadence and I made this preset. So really, what's up?
Make your own.
Yeah, make your own, but see why things do what they do. Do it in the color channels. You just saw what happens when you're using gels. It actually affects everything. Cooler tones affect your shadows. Warmer tones affect highlights more. Things like that. You know, get into it, okay? This is only gonna go as far as you go with it. You have to be in it to win it, and you have to be in it to get something out of it. And I really do believe in that. I know that people sell their presets, and you could look like all these Instagram guys. That's fun, but understand why if you really want to get to the next level, if you want people to buy into your style, if you want to make this a profession, get your style, okay? Autumn, Layne Lou, right?
Lou.
How do you spell that?
LayneY.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry. Layneylou.
All right, guys. All right, be good to each other. I will see you guys on Instagram later. Bye.